So I've had a lot of questions recently about why am I so excited about Francisco Uhmay, or why am I so excited about Aldea Uhmay, designed by Pininfarina. And there's many reasons behind it. It's a small Mayan village just west of Tulum. So I want to talk about the rich culture, the arts, the crafts, the authenticity of the community. And then I want to dive later into exciting investment opportunities in the rapid growth areas and why it's amazing and how you can make some good money, okay? As you drive through Francisco Uhmay on Coba. Now, Coba is, like I've said this before many times, but in case this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, Coba used to be the only way to get to the beach in Tulum back in the day. I'm not talking about 50 years ago either. I'm talking like 4 years ago. Coba was the main road, and that's where the new Jungle Park is at. I can get into that and talk about that for another half an hour, but that's not the point of this conversation. But Coba, when you come down 307, which is the highway you take from the Cancun airport, which is now the highway you'll take from the Tulum airport, and drive into Tulum, you're gonna take a ride on Coba to go down to Jaguar Park, and also the hotel zone and stuff like that, okay? So that same road, Coba, instead of going to the left, if you're coming from Cancun, or go to the right if you're coming from the Tulum airport, you're gonna take a left coming from Tulum, you're gonna take a right coming from Cancun. That's as confusing as I could possibly make it. And you're gonna go towards the Mayan ruins of Coba. So when you get out to the Mayan, like on the way out to the Mayan ruins of Coba, you're gonna start seeing different little towns and different places out there, right? But the first one you're gonna see that's the closest to Tulum, that's literally, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, driving the speed limit more or less, is called Francisco Uhmay, okay? And that's Coba, that's the highway. So as you drive through Francisco Uhmay on Coba, you'll immediately notice a unique atmosphere. It's not like Tulum or like touristy spots. This is a village. It's a haven for Mayan culture. See, Spanish and English aren't necessary here. As the locals, they basically speak Mayan, like they're still speaking in Mayan there. And Coba, it showcases various arts and crafts and stores for passing visitors. The true essence of Francisco Uhmay lies a few blocks away. So I want you to see the heart of the village, where the families create handmade treasures like dream catchers, wood carvings, woven baskets, and lamps, furniture, chairs, tables. I mean, the list goes on and on. Most of the stuff you're gonna see in these hotels and the beach clubs, like you'll see in like those big giant woven nests. It looks like a bird nest, and it has a cushion on the inside of it, and that's like your beach chair, your lounge chair, and stuff like that, right? That stuff is made in Francisco Uhmay. So despite its rustic appearance, Francisco Uhmay remains untouched by foreign influence. Families derive their income from visitors, but their way of life is deeply rooted in heritage, like the values that precede the Mayan boom. Like I'm talking about old school. These people are taking advantage of this boom, so to speak, with tourism by keeping themselves grounded and continuously to build and do these handcrafted artisanal stuff that's absolutely amazing. Like the garden chairs, they use locally grown plants to make their furniture. I mean, it's really cool. If you drive through Francisco Uhmay, you gotta try the local restaurants there. There's some cool stuff to do while you're there. Now, one fascinating aspect in recent emergence of dream catchers in local stores, while it's not originally part of the Mayan culture, the locals embraced the concept after it was introduced to them by visiting artists. Now, they create these beautiful things using local materials, adding their own unique touch, right? Their own art form. So despite my efforts trying to uncover more and more history of Francisco Uhmay, it's proven challenging. Language barriers, shyness, it makes it really difficult to really get into the historical aspect of this village. And however, I continuously quest to learn more about the past. I think it's amazing. I think history is amazing. And we learn from our past, right? That way we don't repeat the same mistakes over and over again. So when I say this about learning from our past, I think Cancun is absolutely phenomenal. I love Cancun. I'm actually considering maybe even living in Cancun. I love the design of the buildings. I love Puerto Cancun. I love the shopping center. I just like it. I like Cancun. And I love Playa del Carmen. Each one of those cities had its unique, challenges to overcome as they were developing each one of these towns, right? In Playa, what's amazing about Playa is all roads lead to the beach in Playa del Carmen. It's not the case in Tulum, it's not the case in Cancun, but Playa can boast that. But not a whole lot of green areas in the downtown Playa area. Most of the developers, when they bought the land, they paid a pretty penny for it, so they had to build to the exact easement that they had as a sidewalk, or they weren't able to make back the money they spent on buying the land there, which is fine, right? And then in Tulum, we've all heard the nightmare stories, right? We've all heard of the infrastructure, that the government, the roads aren't paved, and so forth and so on. The list goes on and on. But it wasn't because they were doing it on purpose. It was just that the investments and the purchasing and the growth was way faster than anybody expected it to be, and we just couldn't keep up. But it's being addressed, it's being fixed. There's amazing leaps and bounds being made and done as we speak, where roads are not catching up, the sewage system is catching up, electricity is catching up, but there's a lot more to grow. There's still more things that we need to do. Why am I telling you this? Because Francisco Uhmay, as a whole, it's a community. And this community is actually putting together a master plan for the entire town. Imagine if Playa del Carmen back in, let's say the 80s, right? 70s, late 70s, early 80s, okay? Playa del Carmen, all the people that owned the land in Playa del Carmen said, okay, look, this is our plan. And they put that master plan to the government and said, this is our urban development plan that we want to do. This is how we want to build our streets. This is how we want to have the connectivity. This is where we're going to have our water treatment plants. And that it was actually organized, right? Which is what some developers do when they buy huge pieces of land, when they buy 60, 70, 80, 500 hectares, which is over 1,000 acres. And they say, this is my urban development plan. This is my planned development. But these are privatized, right? This is not really a community as a whole. So Francisco Uhmay is doing that. They're putting together a master plan to submit to the government, and this is our plan and how we're going to be building our town, which is phenomenal. We're learning, right? We're learning from our mistakes. We're not just coming in and bulldozing and building over the jungle. We're building through the jungle and keeping the essence of what it is, because it's going to be built anyways, whether, like I said before, whether we like it or not, we're going to build, people are going to build, investors are going to come, whether it be Mexicans, Americans, Canadians, German, French, Italian, it's everybody. Okay, it's not just Americans, it's not just Canadians. As a matter of fact, most of the development companies down here in this region are Mexican developers, right? It's not some foreigner developer coming in, buying the land and building stuff. It doesn't work that way. There are, but it's not the majority. So now, shifting the focus to the investment opportunity in Francisco Uhmay and introducing to you Aldea Uhmay, designed by Pininfarina. Now, this is a planned community of 20 hectares. Each hectare is roughly about 2.2 acres, okay? Well, not roughly, it's exactly 2.2 acres, right, per hectare. You have 40 hectares, so you've got about, what, 48 acres, give or take a few. You have 20 hectares, it's 48 acres, okay, more or less. And this is not just any development. This is not just another development in Tulum, another planned development in Tulum, another urbanized development in Tulum, not another Aldea Zama, not another big boy, none of this, okay? This has a unique aspect to it, which is what we call, or what the industry calls, a branded residence or branded development. What is a branded development? I want you to look that up. Look up what branded residences are. Look up what branded developments are and who does them and why they do them. I'll give you a sneak peek. It started with the hotel industry lending their names to developments around the world to start building, like the Ritz-Carlton will put their name on residential houses. You've got Hilton, you've got stuff like that. The hotels would basically do what's called a prestanombres, or they would lend their name to give credibility to a development. Now that has branched out into other forms and fashions. Now you have engineers, you have engineer companies, architect companies like Pininfarina and stuff like that. I want you to look it up. So you'll just hear it from my mouth, but look up what is the average return on investment, equity gains on a branded residence versus a regular residence. Look it up, it's absolutely cool. The cool thing about Aldea Uhmay is, like I had mentioned earlier, it's not just going to be destroying the jungle and doing another development and building a bunch of pools and just stuff like that, right? This is going to be preserving 65% of the jungle. 65%. Okay? It's a lot. It's a lot, man. It's a lot considering the amount of money they spend on the land to give you what we're trying to do. There's a total of 150 lots, and it's mixed between multifamily, residential lots, commercial, okay, and also mixed use. And the community has over 10 unique amenities. So where is it? Where is Aldea Uhmay, designed by Pininfarina? Well, Aldea Uhmay is 14 miles from Tulum. That's it, 14 miles. Aldea Uhmay offers a privileged living experience. 735 total homes and a variety of lot options. It provides perfect balance for developers and investors seeking a slice of the moving market. Now, thanks to the rapid growth of Tulum, Tulum has become a benchmark, right? True story. I have a buddy of mine that went to, I think it was in Japan. I'm not sure where the Formula One was. I think it was in Japan or somewhere over there. And he went into the VIP area. He was up there hanging out with a bunch of Asian people. They didn't speak English or Spanish, and he was a Mexican there, right? And he walked in with a bottle of tequila, and everyone was like, tequila, amazing, right? They all knew what tequila was and margaritas and stuff like that. And he said, I'm from Monterrey. And when he said I'm from Monterrey, they said, oh, Tulum. He said, no, Monterrey. They're like, well, where's Monterrey? He's like, Cancun? And they're like, no, well, you mean Tulum. So literally, they were branding. Tulum has branded itself as Mexico. You have a benchmark now. You no longer have to say, where should I go? Tulum is already pulling enough marketing, enough industry publicity to bring people to this area already, plus the airport, plus the train, all the extra amazing cool stuff, right? So thanks to the rapid growth of Tulum, opportunities for investment in Francisco Uhmay, they're on the rise. It's right across the street from Azulik, Uhmay, which is the Azulik Museum. Look up Azulik. Azulik is one of the most, if not the most followed hotels in the world. But check it out. Look up Azulik Hotel, okay? Now, the museum that Azulik has in Uhmay, it combines nature, art, ancient wisdom. It goes right along the same lines as Francisco Uhmay. So it's really becoming one of the best places to not just live, but invest right now. So there you have it, Francisco Uhmay, and this amazing opportunity to invest, grow, and be a part of the change in eco-friendly, sustainable, amazing technology, merging with nature and creating an amazing environment, not just for us today, but also for the next generations 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years from now. Aldea Uhmay, designed by Pininfarina, is right in line with Francisco Uhmay's plans, Francisco Uhmay's goals, and what their priorities are and how they want to develop their town. If you want to get involved with something like this, please let us know. Send me a message, send me a private message, like, subscribe, keep in touch, and we'll talk to you soon. All right?